I'm Dr. Rachel Northern, and this is one of my monthly health talks that I like to give on different topics. And tonight I chose to talk about healthy eating and healthy diet hacks. Now, this is not talking about what to eat. If you want to know what to eat, you can go to last month's or previous videos that I've shot that talk about the low-carb Mediterranean diet and other things that I recommend, other foods that I recommend that are healthy for you. Tonight, I'm really just talking about healthy diet hacks, ways to just help yourself eat healthier, and let's get on with it. So, intro tonight is I'm going to talk about diet mindset, healthy diet hacks, the physical body and challenges that people experience, and daily tips and weekly tips to kind of help you just be positive about food and how to have success in eating healthier. So tonight, diet mindset. So what is a healthy diet to you? What do you think is actually healthy? I remember growing up and I thought that broccoli with the processed cheese sauce was healthy because that's probably the only way I got broccoli when I was younger. I remember only having access to, we had the shriveled up apples and oranges in the bottom of the Crisper tray. I don't remember knowing any kind of apples except for the classic, the Red Delicious or the Golden Delicious. I didn't realize there's all these other varieties of apples out there even. So what do you think is healthy? And also, do you pay attention when you eat certain things and how your body reacts to it? Because I used to think oatmeal was healthy, and it's promoted and it is healthy in some aspects, but for my body type, it's not necessarily healthy. And I realized that after paying attention to how my body felt after I ate oatmeal. So you got to think about what is healthy to you, and do the research for yourself on those things. Also, how do you think about food? Is food a necessary evil? Is it something you just have to eat to fuel you so you can do the things you want to do? Do you eat to live, or do you live to eat? Is it just part of life for you? You just like to just eat all day? And I'm a foodie, I'll admit. When I go to places, I love traveling to different places and experiencing different foods, and I love enjoying a meal, but most of the time for me, it's I just eat so I can do my work, so I don't pass out. So I could go through, a day if I'm really focused and not realize I didn't eat. So you've got to figure out what your mindset is on that. Do you eat to live? And also are you obsessed with calories? Are you obsessed with, is food a bad thing? Have you got to attach bad emotions with dieting or food in general? I am not a big calorie counter. I don't believe in actually calorie counting. I actually believe in serving counting. So paying attention to how many servings of fruits you get a day, paying attention to how many servings of protein you get a day, paying attention to how much vegetables you take in a day, paying attention to sugar, the things, the good, the bad, and those things that you're putting in your body, are you paying attention to it? Because calorie is just a unit of energy. That's all it is. Just like you have your car, and there's certain calories that help, stimulate better distance. We have different octanes for fuel for our cars, but it's still just a unit of energy. So trying to take emotion off of calories and food is one thing to think about. Also, what is your motivation to eat better right now? So if you're watching this video, you should be interested in eating healthier. So why? Why are you motivated to eat healthier? Is it because you want to lose weight? Is it because you want to feel better? Is it because you got a nagging voice in the back of your head saying this, you shoulda, coulda, you could do this? So think about what your motivation is, because truly you have to have to really be successful at it, you got to be motivated from a good place. So let's get on with the next slide here. So emotions. So definitely we know in our society we have emotions attached to food, which I talked about earlier. But pay attention to how you feel before you eat. Check in. So I talk about doing a head check. First off, check and see, are you actually hungry? Are you just craving something and it's just like a sugar craving, like your body's addicted to sugar and you're craving sugar, or you're actually needing energy, or are you actually hungry? Like, do that stomach check, making sure that you're actually hungry. Or is it emotion check? Do a heart check. So are you bored? Are you lonely? Are you actually hungry? Or are you sad? Are you trying to stuff emotions down by going to the closet and pantry and getting some food, or to the refrigerator? So do that check. Go through the systems and see, okay, do I really need this right now, or am I just trying to fill in some other thing and stuff an emotion down? And there is physical challenges. It's the old adage, there's difference between men and women. I can take a male and he stops eating sugar or gives up soda for a week and he drops 10 pounds. A female gives up soda for a month, she maybe lose 1 pound. Our bodies are a little different between males and females. And, different body types. Some have like the pear-shaped, abdomen. Some people some are more top heavy. It depends on how your metabolism, how strong your thyroid is, your endocrine system. We talk about there's hormone imbalances for some people that struggle to lose weight, or your hormones are off, that makes you crave certain things as well. So making sure you get like a checkup, do your yearly checkups and get your blood work and find out what's going on. If you've got a baseline with how healthy you are, if you have indicators of certain things that are off, thyroid issues and things like that. I myself, on the holistic side, we do hair analysis to see what mineral imbalances are showing up, and then we help suggest certain things, foods and supplements to help balance people out better. Also genetic weaknesses. I know myself and my family line, we have a genetic weakness to gluten, so unfortunately I cannot partake in it or it messes me up. So I've learned I can't do that. I know I have to avoid it. If I eat it, it messes me up. So some people I have do elimination diets where they eliminate certain things out of their diet and see how they feel. So doing it for 10 days to 2 weeks is the good set point, and just take it out and then kind of put it back in for a day or two and see how you feel, and your body usually lets you know if it's good for you or not good for you, depending on symptoms and how it affects you. So that's another thing. And subluxation. So as a chiropractor, I have to address this part. Subluxation is when the spine misaligns and there's pressure on the nervous system, and there's nervous system interference. So there is areas like in the mid-back that those nerves actually go into help control your stomach and your pancreas and your liver and all these things that we can't feel or necessarily realize they're there and working for us. And most people think about going to chiropractor for back pain, but that back pain could also be related to stomach issues. And I've actually had patients, when I've done their history on them, I usually do a review of systems as well and ask them about indigestion and how heart things and how they're breathing. And it's interesting because I've had many people who maybe had heartburn, for instance, when we did the first appointment, and then we go after a series of treatments, do a reevaluation and ask them about their heartburn, and they go, oh my gosh, I don't have that anymore. And a lot of times they've had misalignments in their mid-back that we've addressed and corrected, and their nerves are communicating better to their stomach, so they're digesting better, so they don't have the heartburn anymore. So that's one thing as a chiropractor that I also address, making sure the body is operating as optimally as possible, making sure those nerves are communicating to all the organs. I've also had people that just started care and didn't change anything else and said they lost weight just because their body was functioning better. So there's that as chiropractic and how we help that. So action. So here's some practical things. So this is the time right now where I say, get a pad of paper, get some notes, get your notepad maybe up on the phone if you can. But this is definitely a good thing to jot some of these things down, because as I was digging into some research for this, some things that came up that I was like, oh, that's a good one. That's a really good thing to do. Or I already do that normally, but there helpful. So one thing is write down your goals. Like write it down and write down a date. Now most people are really good when they know they have like their daughter's wedding coming up or their best friend's, 40th birthday party or something like that they want to look good, high school reunion. So people get like, okay, that's a good set goal to kind of get healthier for. But in life, we should always be trying to be improving and focusing on our health. So, but have an end date. You're more successful if you have a date that you want to strive for. So events help with that, but writing a date and writing a goal and making it smart and reasonable, not extreme, where you're going to fail yourself, and that sets you in a perpetual negative cycle. How about find an accountability partner or partners, people who want to engage in living healthier with you. A lot of times when we do the purification or detox diet, we do it as a team here at the office, and it helps each other because we're like, yay, I made this last night. I made, I'm doing really good on this shake. I am so proud of myself. So encouraging each other, or man, I had to have that piece of chocolate, I fell off. And it's like, okay, that's okay. We'll give you, that's all right. You got the rest of it doing good. So having a partner or someone to help you in a nice way, don't find partners that can gently encourage you is most helpful, but that's great. Also for like walking and doing activities together, that's always helpful as well. And give yourself time and credit. If sometimes you're doing really good and you fall off, just like when we first learned to ride a bike, you don't ride it away right away. You kind of wobble a while, you get the training wheels, you take those off. You got to keep trying and give yourself credit for how far you've come. Look back and see, oh, I used to drink all this Diet Coke all the time, and now I only have 1 a day instead of 6 a day. Give yourself credit where credit is due. That you're trying to keep moving in the right direction. I just read a book and one chapter talked about progress, not perfection. So if you're making progress, even if it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, but you're moving in the right direction. Encounter successes. Write those down too. You can do that. A daily count of your successes will help you. Like, yes, I had 5 servings of vegetables today. I did a great job. So, good job. Pat yourself on the back. And then it's also helpful is plan your indulgences. So a lot of times I'll save things, like, oh, I know my birthday's coming up, for example, and I ordered a gluten-free cake. I'm so excited. I'm going to pick it up, and I'm saving, that's going to be my treat for the week. So I'm like really excited to be able to taste this gluten-free cake. So that's something that I'm saving up, I'm banking on, and then I can really enjoy it. If you have treats all the time, they're really not a treat anymore. So we got daily tips that we're gonna review now. So things you can do daily to kind of maybe put into your cycle of life. And one thing is an easy one, and I've heard they said use bright colored, smaller bowls and plates. Now I heard about the smaller, and you see the picture where it's like the same amount of food and it just looks like it's so much more when you put it on a smaller plate. So that kind of helps you control your serving sizes so you're not overeating your servings. But the bright colored, they actually did research showing that you actually eat less when your plate is a brighter color. So I thought that was pretty good research that is something simple and easy you can change out in your household. Also, pause before eating. So in my faith, I believe you should pause and say grace and give thanks for your meal. Well, also physiology-wise, that helps you pause and tells you, like, at your brain saying, hey, stomach, get ready, I'm going to eat. And so it starts getting some of the digestive enzymes kind of percolating, and it helps just take a pause. And always they say that attitude of gratitude is always helpful as well right before you eat, saying thank you for your food. It just sets you in a better place and a mindset so you can digest better. So pause before you're eating is a great way to do daily. And big thing is go away from your desk. Or go somewhere if this is your work area, that's where you're in maybe a constant stress mode or activity mode, it's good to step away and go eat somewhere else. So a lot of times I eat here in the lobby. I'll sit in the lobby here and sit down on my lunch and eat it in here instead of eating at my desk. Because because it makes you, again, in your mindset, it steps away, makes you take a break, makes you slow down, makes sure you're digesting better. So, also sleep is important. Research has shown a lot with if you're not getting adequate sleep, it also affects how you process food and also if you're stressed because you're not getting enough sleep, you're going to reach for those quick energy foods that are not so healthy for you. So sleep does factor into healthy eating, believe it or not. Also, when dining out, cut the meal in half and ask for a to-go box right away. So this is one of my tricks. Most of the time I talk about all these talks about how when I go to a restaurant, I only eat half the meal. It's usually they overserve you in our country, I believe. But serving size wise, but right away, if you cut that in half, I kind of already cut it in half, and then sometimes I'll just say, can I have the box right away? Because I know that it's going to go home with me, and it's going to be, my meal for that night or the next day for lunch. And so I just separate that out away. That'll help you get it out of sight, out of mind right away, and then it helps you keep your portion controls better. And then ask yourself also before you order something or start to make something, is this what I want or what my body needs? Like have that wants and needs conversation with yourself. Let's see what the next one is. Thank you. So think about how the food will make you feel in about an hour away from now. So this is a trick I've been doing for years, that when I look at a menu at something, I'm always like, oh, that steak looks really good, but I know if I gotta work tonight, that's gonna weigh me down. I'm not gonna feel as energetic to help my patients. I'll go with the salad instead. That process goes through my head before I order, because I think about how it's gonna make me feel. Not just at the moment of eating, it's gonna taste so delicious, but it's not gonna make me feel the greatest later. So that's another way I evaluate trying to make healthier choices for myself. I order on how it's going to make me feel later, not that immediate gratification. So also read labels. We've talked about that a lot. But also research has shown a lot of people don't even know serving, like how much is a cup of cereal, or how much is, how many beans, or a cup of rice, or a quarter cup of rice. So maybe start practicing and actually using the serving utensils, the cups, to actually measure things out on your plate, so you actually can see what the servings should look like instead of just eyeballing them onto your plate. They did a research study with kids who did not, the parents always made their meals or made their cereal and poured it in a bowl, and when they were away from their parents and they put them in a separate room, they over and poured themselves every time when the parents did it for them. Now, if they started, the kids that learned how to pour their own cereal, they did good every time and had better awareness of how much they were eating. So you got to practice that sometimes as adults too. Like we've maybe overserved ourselves for so long, we need to kind of dial it back and actually measure it out and find out what we're doing and serving sizes. So another thing, research actually shows that eating by a window, you eat less, they said. So it's pretty interesting, some research that they did. So a lot of these researchers I've seen in like colleges, pretty reputable studies. So it's quite interesting. So that's a new tip I didn't know about, but it makes sense. You kind of are more relaxed, you kind of eat slower when you're looking out the window and enjoying, like right now we have fall here and the leaves are starting to turn. So it kind of makes you slow down a little bit. For dinner also, there's another research study said if you play soft music or eat by candlelight, they say that you eat healthier, make healthier choices, and you eat slower. So that's another cool study. Also, of course, eating slowly, taking your time. The better you chew your food, the better you can digest it. That's always going to be healthier. Now, drinking water throughout the day can help you make better choices too. So you might not do that emotional grabbing. Like if you fill up on your water through the day, that will help you also first hydrate, which not many people are actually drinking adequate amounts of water these days. And also I recommend to drink more water through the day and minimize the water you drink or fluids you drink during a meal so that the enzymes don't get diluted and you can digest your foods better. And obviously stay active. The more active you are, the more you don't want to eat, weigh yourself down with foods, especially the heavier foods or unhealthy foods. And one tip also that another research study said, if you brush your teeth right away. So my office manager got this down. She always brushes her teeth after. So of course the dentist has been talking about this for years, but they say if you brush your teeth afterwards, you'll stop. You won't maybe go grab the dessert or the mint or the chocolate like after you're done eating because you brushed your teeth. So it's like another deterrent to keep you from eating throughout the day or eating, when you shouldn't be eating. So weekly little tips we got going on here now. So one thing is, we've heard this one before, don't shop when you're hungry. And you know it, everybody's done it. You always grab the stuff you don't need. When you're hungry, you want that. You see food and you normally could say no to in your willpower, but since you're hungry, you buy all the stuff you shouldn't. So don't shop when you're hungry. My personal tip, which I didn't read anywhere, is I actually keep usually, nuts in my car, like a can of nuts or trail mix in my car, and so I can have a handful before I go into the grocery store or even on the run, and I need some quick fuel. So I always keep that in my car. So if you have sustainable things that you can keep in your car, nibble on that before you go in the grocery store so you don't make that bad choices in the grocery store. Another tip is also prepare, in bulk. Like we were just talking this week about preparing chicken breasts and, separating out. So prepare them all, and then you can separate them out and put them in the freezer, and then you can pull them out to take to work or take, maybe when you get home and you don't have enough time to make a real meal, you can take that chicken breast out, thaw it out faster, it's already cooked, so you're ready to eat something healthy right away. So preparing those things. Also, cutting up your carrots and your broccoli and already having them into serving size containers so you can grab them and eat them quickly. And the thing I've talked about in other talks is leaving a bowl of fruit out on the counter. Have that front and center. So I have apples, I have that at my house, and so that way you can grab an apple before you go behind and grab something in the pantry that's not, processed and not as healthy for you, or a banana, something, that's got just peel it, eat it right away, and it's ready to go. So, and then hide the junk, put the junk higher places, back behind things, so that way you have to go through obstacles, so you don't make those choices. You try to help you get the healthier options first in front of you. And pack up snack bags, which I talked about. So you can do that too with nuts, and fruits and other things that you can think of. And declutter, this is another research study that came out that said if your countertops are clean, they're decluttered, that you're more likely feel like you could prepare meals, or if you only have the fruit bowl on there, then that's all you see. So if you have a nice clean counter and only have the healthy options, that helps you actually eat healthier. Pretty good research study there. So also do a meal plan for the week. Pick a weekend day or a certain day that works best for you. Write out your meal plan and do your grocery shopping according to that, and try to stick to that. That'll help you just preload your healthy choices then. You're prepared for it. Another thing that came up with, and I totally agree with this, is eliminate the buying in bulk for the snacks. That is like when you're going to the big stores, the big box stores, and you're buying big box, you got all the chips and all the sodas and all that, because you end up eating and drinking them way faster than you would normally if you bought them on a smaller amount. So just try to eliminate just buying the stuff there. Now those stores are great for other things, like you can buy your bulk and meat and separate those out. My husband's good with that, but the other stuff, the snacky stuff, the unhealthy stuff, yeah, try to avoid buying those there. The low carb Mediterranean diet is the best. I recommend that in the beginning. There's that's the most research studied diet that has been beneficial for people. And in your fridge, showcase all the good stuff up front. Put your fruits, your vegetables, your healthy snacks up towards the front, and maybe all the not so good stuff behind that. So just like we talked about before in the other things. And then here was a good tip too that I thought was a brilliant idea is, food diary. So I actually hand out papers still. I'm old school. I have people actually write it down because I think it's important that people pay attention to what they're eating. And this suggested actually taking a picture of every meal or every food that you eat through the day, and then you can review it. Either you can review it at the end of the night, or you can review it after a week, or however much you want to hold yourself accountable. Maybe that's something where you can hold your accountability partner with you and send that to them, and realize you're going to have to account for this food. But actually taking pictures, help you take a better, really accurate inventory of what you're actually consuming and what you're putting in your body. That'll help you make better choices, especially if you're taking a picture of it and you're going to show it to somebody else. That will kind of force you to kind of be like, maybe I should not make that decision and maybe make a healthier one. So this is my conclusion. I hope these are all awesome health tips, and I hope you've thought of some good ideas for yourself to help you just make some healthier choices in your diet. I'm Dr. Rachel Northern again, Family Wellness Chiropractor, and I do have a website, thedoctorinYou.com, which all my videos on my blog. All the videos are loaded up on my YouTube channel, and also I did write a book called The Journey to Vibrant Health, which I talk about all kinds of areas of health and being a healthier version of yourself. So thanks for joining me tonight.